Powered by Riverside FM.
Tom Pelissero has come out and reported that the Minnesota Vikings are no longer interested in Aaron Rodgers, and they have rejected multiple trade offers from other teams about JJ McCarthy, thus putting their stamp on the direction that they want to go in the future, and that seems like it is with JJ McCarthy. Here's where I give a lot of credit to the Minnesota Vikings. And Minnesota Viking fans, UP Nation, Skol Nation, you should be proud that we have a coaching staff and a GM that's willing to dot the I's and cross the T's when it comes to something like that. So I'm going to give them their dap. I'm not going to crucify them in the media. I'm not going to call them dumb or idiots, because they pursued this or had conversations about it. Again, this is how championship teams are won. You've got to look at things from every angle. And like I said before, if KOC and Kwesi would have signed off on an Aaron Rodgers coming to the Minnesota Vikings, I would have supported it because I trust these guys. If you have any other opinion on this, then you don't trust the people that are in place. So those people, I don't want to hear that Kevin O'Connell is a quarterback whisperer. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear Kwesi is cooking, because that narrative has to apply for everything. If you trust him, you trust him. If you don't, you don't. And here's my thing, man. The Minnesota Vikings probably could have put this statement out a while ago. And a lot of people out there have the opinion that maybe, just maybe, the Minnesota Vikings were trying to help out Aaron Rodgers' agent or Aaron Rodgers because this agent has some relationships on the team as well. The Vikings are going to have to negotiate with this agent in the future, possibly. So you want to continue to have great relationships with those agents because it helps you in contract negotiations. I don't know how much. When people want their money, they want their money. But obviously there are some people that think in the future it may help with contract negotiations. My whole thing is that maybe, look, I'm not in the inner circle of the NFL, so I'm not going to even sit here and pretend like it. Like I'm not going to Egan and rubbing elbows with Kwesi Adofo-Mensah and KOC. So if you're not doing that, if you're not in the NFL inner circle, if you haven't played the NFL, I just often wonder where people get these ideas that this is the type of culture that the NFL has where they're trying to help each other out, especially in Aaron Rodgers. I don't buy it. And the reason why I don't buy it is because it's at the detriment of your future franchise, rookie quarterback, 22 years old, although mentally strong, and I think he's an alpha dog, but he's also impressionable trying to find his spot. So why would you, as an organization, I just don't understand why you would continue to let these narratives float out there for so long. You let these narratives float out there for so long, knowing that your future franchise quarterback in JJ McCarthy has to endure all of these reports, has to endure all of the analysts, has to endure all of the beat writers. And then because you probably don't want to get asked questions about this, man, I'm just assuming and I'm speculating. Maybe I'm being a little reckless here. But you really haven't had a press conference introducing all of your great free agent signings, probably because you don't want to answer questions about Aaron Rodgers. I can only assume that. I mean, I don't know that for sure, UP Nation. I'm just trying to piece things together. If the Minnesota Vikings, and I don't buy it, because I think the Minnesota Vikings and their brass are smarter than this, so I don't buy it. But if the Minnesota Vikings were letting this thing extend out for so long because they wanted to help Aaron Rodgers and their agent, shame on them. Absolutely shame on them. Because you have to support your quarterback. And it's not just the Aaron Rodgers thing, man. It's the Sam Darnold is possibly coming back. Other than when JJ McCarthy went down with his injury and KOC called him, we have our franchise quarterback. So he basically called him their franchise quarterback. The Vikings have been pretty lean in coming out and banging their fist on the table saying, this is our guy. This is our guy. If JJ McCarthy is their guy. It's the only area where I feel like I can critique the Minnesota Vikings. It's like, if JJ is your guy, man, kill all this noise about anybody else coming in. No quarterback controversy. Nobody. Daniel Jones is not battling him for the job. Sam Darnold is not coming back. Aaron Rodgers is not stepping foot on our campus. We have our guy in JJ McCarthy. We have our guy. And even now, we're getting this kind of secondhand from a guy like Tom Pelissero. Like, is anybody from the Vikings going to get in front of the camera at any point in time and say, hey, we're rolling with JJ? Do you know what that will do for that young man? And again, people that I'm close with are like, maybe they're saying that behind the scenes with JJ McCarthy. That, listen, man, that always can be true. But even if they're saying that to you behind the scenes, if you're JJ McCarthy, and then you're not seeing them shut this stuff down, there's always a chance that the Vikings could go a different direction. And I think that JJ McCarthy needs to be in an environment where he knows that everybody is all in. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, KOC, his teammates, everybody is all in at every moment. The minute that the Vikings stop being kind of wishy-washy with this thing is the minute JJ McCarthy is honestly the alpha dog in this program. So I'm happy the report came out today from Tom Pelissero. I still want to hear from Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and I still want to hear from KOC. As a Minnesota Viking fan, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You guys got to get in front of the camera and shut that stuff down. As always, my vote has always been to go with JJ McCarthy, but I understood if you were hesitant and you were looking at some other options. But I think the non-communication, letting this thing extend out, created a narrative that didn't need to be. And ultimately, man, I think it becomes detrimental to a young quarterback. So it's my only critique on this. I'm happy that they're going forward with JJ McCarthy. I am interested in seeing him play, being under center for all the snaps next year. I think the kid is going to be box office. What are your thoughts? Put your thoughts in the comments. Are you happy that the Minnesota Vikings are not going with Aaron Rodgers and they're going with JJ McCarthy? Do you feel like Minnesota should have came out and made a statement a long time ago? Or do you think the Minnesota Vikings are making a mistake by not signing Aaron Rodgers with the roster the way it is? Let me hear from you, UP Nation. This has been Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Those that become members will be entered into a drawing to win a Minnesota Vikings Winter Warriors jersey. It's time for the JJ McCarthy era. UP Nation, I'll see you when I see you.